So we were talking to Zach yesterday. Like, when a rookie comes in and he takes that kind of different role, what kind of advice do you give?
Truthfully, try and learn the playbook as best as possible. Because for a guy like him, he's learning the big tight end, the backup interior. You know what I mean? He has to kind of know 3 or 4 positions at that point. So it's know the playbook is as good as possible. You have your set number of tight end plays, and we're down. We've been down David last week, so that puts a little bit more responsibility for him. But he's done a good job just absorbing the playbook and getting extra work in with our coaches to try and understand that. But it's a big responsibility. You go in from probably playing one position your whole career. Now it's hey, you might be the right guard, you might be the left guard, you might be the emergency center, you might be a tight end. So it's a big responsibility. But he's done a good job getting his playbook and understanding that.
Joel, Kevin talked to us earlier this week about spending time focusing on penalties because you guys are, I think, the most penalized team in the league right now.
Yeah.
Seemed like you guys were able to eliminate up front some of the mental, the pre-snap stuff, but the holding penalties were constantly on Sunday. So just how do you guys minimize those holding calls?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, pre-snap penalties we're in a lot of control of that. Holding calls sometimes can be 50-50, but if the guy's outside your framework, you got to try and let him go. With a scrambling quarterback, sometimes you don't exactly know where he's going. So when you feel that, you got to try and get it to release. I think the D-linemen have gotten better at flopping a little bit as well, but it's something we have to work through. We've worked all week on really just focusing on hey, if they're outside your framework and the ball, should be out, let them go and live to play another day in those situations.
Did you say they're getting better at flopping?
I think so. I think you see these guys running out of the pocket and then a guy will just you didn't fall like that. You know what I mean? They're trying to flop for the holding call. So it's a little suspect, but you gotta work through that stuff.
Is it a little offensive though when you watch the film and you see what they're doing to Miles on every play?
Yeah. It's no comment.
Joel, when you look at this Giants defense, especially up front, what stands out to you about what you guys have to execute well?
Yeah, I mean, I think it starts with Dexter Lawrence, 97. He's a great player. I think he's been, all-pro last couple of years. Just big but twitchy, can push the pocket, stop the run, does a lot of good things. And their edges with 0 and 5, they're both dynamic edge rushers. So they got 3, legit guys that can play the run and the pass. That's really where they want to be the strength of their team is that defensive line. So it's a big challenge for us. We got to try and establish the run and protect when we're called upon.
How did Washington get so many yards rushing out of it? Was it more than just the quarterback running, right?
Yeah, they had a few big plays. There was a short yardage one where the running back looked like he got stopped, and then he kind of squirted out, ran for 50 yards. There was a few other big plays that, on draws and things of that nature. But they did a good job. They stuck to the run, Really, the Giants' defense was really good in the red zone. When they got down there, obviously held them to 7 field goals, no touchdowns. But, they did a good job of kind of spreading them out and creating some creases in there for them.
How good did it feel to run the ball the way you did against Jackson? Just how important is that going to be going forward with Jerome and Dante?
Yeah, we want to try and, for the O-line, we want to try and establish the run. We'll do whatever they call, but get some run, tire out the defense a little bit. That first drive I felt like was an indication of when the Browns offense has been successful the last few years. It's ball control, 12, 13, 14, 15 play drives, get touchdowns at the end, let our defense rest and go hunt the quarterback when they get out there. That's kind of the blueprint. But for us, we want to establish one, and we could have had probably 50 more yards if we didn't have those holding calls. So it was a little frustrating because we thought we even could have been better.
To the jumbo packages, using Zach and Nick in that way, can that be beneficial for a guy who might not be getting traditional line snaps, there were injuries and either of them needed to step in, and they were still in kind of the flow of the game?
I think it's huge. I think you stay in the flow of the game because you never know when your number is going to be called. You're getting some reps out there. You're filling your hands on guys. You understand the cadence and the tempo. You're not just ever going to get thrown in there. So it's a big thing, and I think the O-line loves seeing when 6 or 7 O-linemen are coming on the field.
Joe, I know we talk about team wins all the time, but I think every player that was active was used last week, and on offense on that first drive, there's all the skill guys, 2 extra linemen, all that good stuff. So was that a point of emphasis going in that it's going to take everybody last week?
Yeah, we talk about that a lot. The guys that are up, even the practice squad stuff. Everybody has a role in this team, and you have to find your role. Kevin talks a lot about there's leaders, there's role players, and that's okay. You have to find your role, and what are you going to do to help the team? So we understand guys have set specific roles, but they're ready to go out there and perform.
Jameis Winston quarterback sneak. Policy kind of indicated there's more to come.
Yeah.
There's other options there.
Yeah. Hopefully there's a lot more. No, those quarterback sneaks have been proven to be pretty successful, I think, for us in the last few years. So usually you find a quarterback, or Harry Bryant last year, did it for us. But you can't just run QB sneak every time. You saw with the Ford play, there was a nice run, around the edge on that and stuff like that. So
Having an actual quarterback,
Yeah.
than a tight end.
yeah, you can throw the ball too. Yeah, exactly.
Along the lines of Jameis, everyone's had something to sort of describe what he's like in the huddle. I know Wyatt sort of said he gets the crazy eyes. Jerome said he talks to you like he has a secret to tell. How do you describe Jameis when he's in that huddle?
Yeah, I think he's locked in. His eyes do get real locked in. He's not blinking in the huddle for sure, but he calls the play, he pronunciates. He just has a passion for football, and I think anytime he's out there, he just wants to show that he's passionate and ready to go.
Does he have any of those motivational? He's such a motivational speaking person. Does he say anything like that before he breaks the huddle? Or?
Not before the huddle, but I mean, all the time he's lifting people up, motivating people. So he's a great guy to have in the locker room. It's been great to get to know him.
Last year, when you guys got creative in short yardage and even every floor, I kind of got the impression it was Collins' creativity that created those plays, and yet who took over the baton of being creative on the coaching staff?
I think it's a group effort. I mean, obviously Coach Callahan did a great job. Deuce, he installs the short yardage stuff. So Coach Staley, Deuce, yeah. I think he installs the short yardage package, so I think he's in charge of what plays go in there. I'm sure it goes through a committee, but he's the one that puts in the plays, and that's the play we were working on the last couple of weeks. So I'm sure it's a group effort, but Coach Callahan was great at that stuff, and I know we have a lot of good coaches that can work together to find some good plays.
So how long does it, in your experience, take for an offense to establish an identity within a season?
I think it's ever changing. You want it to be as early as possible, but it's ever changing and week to week. I know there were some times in the past where we wanted to run the ball, and then teams start playing 6-1 fronts, and it's like, well, you can't really run the ball every play, and you end up passing the ball. So the identity is ever changing, and hopefully you establish one early, and then you can kind of have some variations off that.
So it's Legends weekend for the Browns. Phil Dawson went off, and also Jimmy Donovan. What do you make of the voice of the Browns going into the Browns Hall?
Oh, it's amazing. Being here for 11 years now, you're so used to seeing him around the locker room and hearing him call the games. You hear the highlights of him calling games. I know he's special, and I know people that have lived here their whole lives even have a bigger connection to him. And I think everybody on this team and the organization have such a respect for him. So him going in is special. And I know Dawson was our best kicker of all, one of our best kickers of all time. So it's a special weekend. I know they're having Alumni come back for the mock game and stuff. So it's always good to see some of the guys you played with and celebrate the history of the team. Thanks.
How important was it to get that first win out of you guys, bud?
It's very important. As you know, in this league, momentum has a lot to do with how the season is going to go. So you want to capture that first win as soon as possible, so you can have that winning momentum. So it was very important.
Amari, this has been kind of a relatively slow start for you. We're used to seeing 100-yard games and 2 touchdowns and 10 catches and those kind of things. So
Right.
is it just, how do you explain kind of what's going on?
Yeah, just a slow start. Just some bumps in the road in terms of my play, but it's motivated me for sure, and I'll be back. So.
Does it make it easier to kind of like look at the outlook going forward when you say like you've been getting open, Deshaun's been finding you, just maybe it's got to make some routine catches that you usually make?
Yeah, not necessarily in terms of that, but it's definitely motivating and humbling, and sometimes I need that. So.
Did missing OTAs and minicamp have anything to do with it?
I'm not sure. It's a tough question to answer because it was my first time actually missing OTAs and minicamp. So I guess you could say that if you want.
How about the other obvious question to that is the fact that your name did surface in trade room for San Francisco. Is that something that gets inside your head and lingers a little bit as you move forward into the season?
Nah, not necessarily. I can't give you that one. Nah.
You say it's motivating. Has it been frustrating these first 2 weeks for you?
Of course, you want to go out there and play your best brand of football individually as early as possible. So definitely been frustrating, but hey, it is what it is. You got to go out there and just play your game, get back focused, lock back in, and that's what I'm looking to do.
It seems like it's just an inch here, inch there. I mean, such as the pass down in Jackson on Sunday where it's just all fun. I mean, when you go back and watch it on film, is there something that, is it something you notice on film, or is it just a matter of, hey, that inch, we'll make that inch up, down the road?
Just gotta play better. I mean, I don't look at, the inch here, inch there. I mean, yeah, it does play a factor sometimes, but just me knowing my game, knowing myself, just got to go out there and play my brand of football, play up to my standards. So I haven't been doing that for the past couple of weeks, but like I said, I've been motivated. So it's time to get going. So yeah.
Do you feel that at least you and Deshaun have been on the same page though in these first couple games, even though the catches and the numbers haven't been there for you? Do you feel like you two are on the same page?
Yeah, I do, but we can always be more intentional. Like I went out there yesterday, I treated practice like the game, and that's what I'm gonna go and do every single day of practice moving forward. Just treating the practice like the game, attacking it just like I would the game. And I can't say I've necessarily been doing that, but that's what I got to do.
Why do you think you haven't been doing that?
It's a good question. Sometimes you just fall off a little bit. You need a reminder, and that's what the first 2 weeks kind of gave me. And so I'm back on track, I would say.
Do you feel like you also have to guard against, everybody's asking about it, and do you run the risk of thinking about it too much and just not going out there?
No, not necessarily. I mean, I understand that it's a part of the NFL landscape. When you don't play up to your standard, you have to be able to withstand the scrutiny that comes with that. It's something that I definitely understand. Of course, I've been thinking about it a lot because I'm my own biggest critic. So it doesn't affect me in the way that one would assume. I just got to go out there, like I said before, get back on track. This is my 10th year. I know exactly what I need to do. So, nah.
How do you identify when you said you need to take practice with Trey Mully, but how do you identify when that's slipping?
It's gonna show, and like it did. So, yeah, I would say that's how.
Have you had stretches like this before in your career?
Of course, yeah. I'm not a perfect player. Just because there's bumps in the road doesn't mean that you're a bad driver. Sometimes you got to go around them. Sometimes you got to go through them, and I've definitely gone through them. So, to answer your question, I have had stretches like this before.
Do you reflect on those and how you came out of them in this kind of time?
Yeah, and that's why they say experience is the best teacher, because I do go back and reflect on those moments, and it seemed like the end of the world then, and it wasn't, and I was able to bounce back. So that's why I'm so assured that I will this time.
What about the choice routes and things like that? Are you running a fair amount of the choice routes, and is that something that you and Deshaun have to make sure that you guys are really crazy on the same page about?
That's just one route. I wouldn't put too much stock in one route at wide receiver. But of course, I like to run more of every route if it's going to give me the ball. So, yeah.
Amari, I remember having kind of the same conversation with you. Philadelphia joint practices in Philly last summer. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I remember.
There were some drops in practice or whatever. Is this similar? Is it comparable to back then?
Yeah.
Now you're in the game. So
yeah, you can say that. I mean, every time you go out there and have the opportunity to play the game, to run routes, to catch footballs, you want to do it the right way. So I would say yeah.
On the flip side, Jerry's been stepping up with a touchdown first game, had a nice game last week. What do you think has allowed him to get off to a fast start with Deshaun?
Just him being on the same page with Deshaun. Him being exactly where he's supposed to be, and taking full advantage of the opportunities that he's been presented with. So, yes, he's been playing well. Yeah.
Amari, along the lines of you mentioned, being a 10-year vet, you've had stretches where you've struggled a little bit, and back then you maybe thought it was like the end of the world. How have you mentally sort of learned some coping mechanisms or different strategies to make sure that doesn't continue to spiral as you keep playing games?
One of the things I don't really pay too much attention to the media. That kind of be in your head a little bit. So I've learned not to do that. Definitely. But just reminding myself that I've played this game my whole life. You know what I mean? I've gotten a multitude of reps at any type of scenario I could be faced with at the position. So I would say those two things.
Every player, coach that we've talked to is just confident that you're going to bounce back. What's the confidence like that they instilled in you that that you can get back to a Pro Bowl level wide receiver?
I haven't really been talking to anybody about how I played the first 2 games, really. So I can't really answer that question.
Deshaun has said a couple of times that he knows you two guys are going to be very explosive together this season. And I remember talking to you before about Deshaun's arm talent and just how amazing it is. So how much are you looking forward to you guys really connecting, clicking, and getting this thing rolling?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, most definitely. More so to help him out, you know what I mean? I definitely have to be better for my quarterback. It's just the type of mindset that I go in with. To make his job easier, 100%. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Amari, when you look at the receiver room as a whole, the younger guys in your room, what stands out about the progress they've made over the course of training camp and the first couple games of the season?
I would just say their mentality. That's the first thing that came to my head when you asked the question. Just the mentality they have. You can tell that they really want to be great players. They work that way day in and day out. And they are great players, so it just has to show each and every Sunday, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. Yeah.
What about the way last week you were super confident that Deshaun was going to be able to rebound and bounce back from the week that he had?
Right.
What did you think about the way he went out there and operated and played?
Yeah, just like Coach Stefanski said in the team meeting, if Deshaun, every time Deshaun plays like that, we'll have a great chance at winning. So I think he did well. It went just like I predicted. Like I said, I know him. I know how explosive he is. I know how great a player he is. And yeah, we went out there and got the W. Sure. All right.
So, elite neighbors, another LSU receiver. What have you seen out of him on film, and what makes him so good?
Well, I think he's the second most targeted receiver in the whole league so far this season. So, obviously, they're trying to get him the ball. I think he had 18 targets last week, 10 receptions. Hey, you know who we got to stop.
What is it about LSU receivers?
I don't know, man. You tell me. The proof is in the pudding, man. The Tigers gonna get theirs, but it's Tiger on Tiger this week, so we got to take care of them.
So, 2 of the themes on the defense this year were playing better in the red zone, playing better on the road. Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Counts.
Yeah. Definitely 2 areas of focus. We had to bounce back from a home loss that we had, that we were excited to play back at home. So we definitely had heightened awareness to take care of those things so that we could boost our confidence up and get back home and hopefully flip the switch from that week 1.
Is it too early though to say corrected?
On the road? Nah, 1 game? No. You can't judge it off of 1 game. It was a good performance, but we played sloppy, man. Sloppy, very sloppy. It's a lot to clean up.
Grant, kind of getting off of football, left last year's preseason games to go graduate from LSU. Why is education so important to you, and what message would you get to the
Man, that's a great question. Man, college is they give you an opportunity, but you got to take advantage of the opportunity. They give you a scholarship to go play football. You have to take advantage of that to go get education. It's a 2-way street. A lot of guys see it as a one-way thing, and it's just I'm here to do my 3 years and get out. This game not gonna last long, but we all know that. So, and also you want to make your mama proud. So, but it's always great to have that and not just be a one-dimensional person.
What degree did you do?
I went in sport admin. I started in general business. The finance and accounting wasn't agreeing with me, so I had to go sport admin, sport management.
With a guy like Danny Jones, how much is Jim stressing his ability to run the ball?
Yeah, Danny Jones, man, big, agile, quarterback, likes to run. Yeah, I think like 11 design runs already this year. It's a game plan to get him in the run game involved. They have a lot of direct runs too, with 28 or 26, I mean, and he likes to spread the ball around the field too. Like you said, they got a new great receiver, Malik Neighbors, speedy receiver, Jalen Hyatt. You know, he has struggled with turnovers. I think he has 66 in 62 games, so we got to take advantage of that. But, you know, it's a good matchup for us.
What do you, like, from your spot, what's the key to forcing any quarterback into making a bad decision?
Tight windows, showing them different pictures, switching it up, always staying ahead of him, making you know, us dictate what we do, not we dictate off of them.
Going back to those red zone stops.
Yeah.
They're pretty active in the red zone.
Yeah.
Particularly pumped up to get there.
Am I pumped up? No, of course I don't. Yeah.
But you seem very, very active.
Oh yeah. Listen, like I said, we have heightened awareness when it comes to the area of the field. You know, we were not good last year. It's 4-point swings, call them 4-point plays. So we kept 4 points off the board 2-3 times for our offense, and I think that definitely helped them. Listen, we try to do everything we can to keep points off the board. So last year wasn't good enough. We got a lot of stuff we got to clean up, but we're on the right track.
I think it's kind of a money area for the safeties.
Money area? Oh yeah, you get the ball takeaway in the red zone, man. They gonna pay good.
With Neighbors, give me that one.
Okay. Shout out Pro Brand right here, if y'all don't know.
Put this in your locker.
All right.
Grant, a lot's been said these first couple weeks just about how scoring is down, quarterback numbers are down, and just kind of, you know, the evolution of the game, if you will, and how there's kind of been this trend of that the last couple of years. Just from your perspective as a secondary guy, defensive guy, do you think that things are maybe swinging back in the defense's favor a little bit? Like, what do you kind of attribute to the fact that the defense is maybe playing, they're better right now, they're maybe getting the advantage of it?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know that was a thing. But listen, we all know the league wants more touchdowns. We want the offense to do what they do. As a little defender out here, man, it's a tough life. But, you know, we do what we can do. We play man, we match them up. We try to create takeaways and get under their skin a little bit. But I wasn't aware of that. I got to look into that.
When Denzel only plays 11 snaps and line isn't playing, and yet you guys still play really well on defense, does that just reinforce everything you guys always talked about, the depth that you have in that secondary?
Yeah, man. We say G to G. Gentleman, good to great. So it's just next man up, man. You know, we picture ourselves the best in the world. So Captain Ward go down, Captain got bashed, whatever. Juan got bad calves, next man step up.
How much do you guys, quarterback who runs the game, just how much do you guys relish the opportunity to get another shot in on the quarterback?
Nah, I'm not looking to hurt anybody, you know.
You get to hit him in ways you might not be able to get a shot in the pocket.
Yeah, listen, once he's outside the pocket, he running like a runner. Man, he's a regular football player. You just can't take a cheap shot and launch yourself, stuff like that. Hopefully slide a little bit more than I've been seeing on film, get out the harm's way, but it is what it is.
What makes Neighbors so good after the catch?
That's a good, you know, first of all, speed. They see the field good too when he catch the ball. You know, they'll give him mesh drag routes, let him catch it with a lot of space, so he can work that way. Give him deep balls as well. I think he's a pretty good, complete receiver I've seen so far based off his first 2 games. Good player, man. With the LSU, what can I say?
Cam Mitchell was really good in step last weekend. What do you see from him, Cam Mitchell?
I see that he had some things he had to correct in preseason. He had a good game last week, and hopefully that carries on to these next weeks, man. We've been kind of banged up in the cornerback room, so big opportunity for a second-year player.
In your dominance at home last year, you guys fell felt unbeatable, we're unbeatable at home.
Yeah.
How important is it for you to just get back to that?
Right.
Nobody's coming into our house.
Yeah, I think it has a lot of remnants to do with that Ravens game last year. They came in, handled us pretty good at home. We had a worse defensive game than we had that game in the Cowboys, but I think that kind of turned on the switch for us. And now, see some similarities this year. Do what we got to do to be at home. Can't wait. Fans, listen, it's my birthday. Can we come and show off for my birthday? It's my birthday tomorrow. Birthday. Got to get a birthday victory. So fans, show up, come show up. I can give you signs, happy birthday signs, Lion jerseys, something. I know y'all going to show up.
We've been asking you about LSU receivers so much. Would you say LSU is DBU or wide receiver you?
Both.
Both?
Yeah, both. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.